Hey, what is up, my guys? So today is week 2 of Riftbound market update. This is mainly focused on seal, but we do have a couple other aspects in there for some stuff, and we have a jam-packed week for you. There was a lot of movement in the sealed for we now have 4 sets. We had Vendetta release on Friday. I got to open a box myself and open some other stuff. Amazing. I love the set, but we did have a lot of moves across the market when it comes to all the sealed. So as always, let's start with Origin. You can see now, if you remember last week, we had the massive jump up in the booster box price from like 260 up to 340 at one point. Ended last Saturday at 321 ish, and we're back down to like 295. We come over there, yeah, we're sitting 290 right now, so a couple a little lower than that, but still great sell through rate. Supply is up this week. This is not shocking. To my knowledge, reprints haven't hit anywhere, but when you have such jumps in the market, you have people who are going to want to offload some. So this isn't a crazy thing at all. We also have a reduction in the amount of sold on average because as prices get higher, the people willing to buy at those higher prices, especially now that we know a reprint is coming, quote unquote, is coming. Um, People are going to be less wanting to buy. People also put a lot of money in other stuff this past week and everything. Booster box case price obviously came down. This was super inflated, didn't even make anywhere close to sense. This one's at least way closer. Pack prices stayed about the same. Not many people are buying some loose packs. Top 10 chase cards. We did have a couple pullback on some. That being said, I'm pretty sure we went up in the PSA 10 price on some cards just by, I do watch a lot of other YouTubers and people who will sit there and scan eBay and find all the new highs and lows. That's gone up. But another thing is our expected value is higher. So our ratio is even higher. So my price might be lower on my booster box, but now my expected value because the cards in the set are. So is Origin still a buy at this point? Sub 300? Yes, I'm going to say yes. I really think this is going to be one of the quickest $1,000 booster boxes we will see in a while for a set. I mean, we just saw the timeline for sets 6 and 7 coming out next year. Those look amazing. It's like a classic set and then an Aurelian Soul set. So we are doing so well, and I think this is only going to help Origins even more because if they're going to stop printing it because they have a lot of other things to focus on, people are just going to keep gobbling this up because it's still needed for competitive play, and the signatures are just only going up more. Origins at under 300 is still a buy in my opinion. Try to get some lower deals though if you can. Next up, we have Spirit Forge, and now this one has been crazy. The total sold has gone up 100, supply dropped about 60, and this doesn't even tell the full story because if I go over here, I mean, we're just seeing constant growth. Another 18 sold today. It is just going up and up and up with this. Honestly, if the reprint is as small as they say it is, then I don't know if this train can get stopped even with a reprint. I think it's still going to do well. So I'm hard pressed to say even Spear Forge is a buy at this point. It's only going to keep going up. Booster box case price makes sense. Packs, went up in accordance with it. It would have been underpriced had it stayed the same. So of course it goes up. Top 10 chase. Now this is one thing I had to note. Some of them went down, but boy did Ari go up. We had from a sale at 4,899 to a sale today of 7,400 with another one listed. Some people are, oh, okay, it's a Beckett, and then this one doesn't even have a picture. Oh, it's thin. Oh, it's thin. There's not many. Signatures are rare. There's a reason. I mean, you're going to start seeing more of these higher end cards only selling on eBay. So my statistic might become very irrelevant very quick for something like that. But it needs to be noted that these cards are just going insane. Expected value didn't move up once again. EV doesn't contain signatures, so those moving up, which means our ratio went down. It wasn't enough to offset the $30 increase on the booster box price. Then we have Unleashed. Now this one I have been it is probably my least favorite set. I think it's still good. I think it has some solid points to it. I think the Baron card, which did see a big increase this week, especially in PSA 10, shot up this week. Unleashed just is the weakest of all the sets currently. But with the supply, it's still just going strong. It's consistently having buyers. We're seeing this price slowly increase on it. So now, now, if you check the price right now, it's 125. So when let it be noted, when I do my statistics, it's by the last sale on Saturday. So if we go back, boom, 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 we're gonna go there. We missed it right there. Saturday, we had three sell at the end of Saturday for 141.88. So we're back down in price a bit, even over the course of a single day. Little thin to my knowledge. We have one, we have six, so seven boxes, and then we're right back up to where we are. And we sold 23 yesterday. Um, or we sold 23 already today on Sunday, and then we're probably going to sell another 23 plus tomorrow. So I wouldn't be shocked if by the time I wake up tomorrow, we're back up to this price. Average sold went down. Um, comparison to average sold on Spirit Forge, which is like a 50% increase. Then we have the supply dwindling slowly. I mean, we're seeing that week after week. Supply going down for all of them except for Origins. And what else? Any other thing notable? PSA, the top 10 chases, yep, slightly up. Expected value is actually down. This feels, it's a 0.7, still higher than Spirit Forge, but nowhere near as strong as Origins. So to my knowledge, it's not that hyper competitive play in it. So a lot of those lower end cards aren't going to be carrying you. So it's going to be your standard over numbers and some of your alt arts and everything who are going to have to carry you through this. But last we have up is Vendetta. Like I said, released on Friday, the 31st. So when I take some of this stuff, like what was the total sold in the last 7 days? This does include 5 days of pre-sale. So market's not being flooded with everyone trying to offload or anything. So I would take these with a grain of salt. But the one thing that should be noted is what is the current supply? 62. So I have it noted as 124, but then if we go back over here, it's 62. Why is that? Is just because the buying pressure today was another 65. What people bought on Sunday is greater than the current supply on the market. Vendetta scares me. I have never seen on my feeds and everything. Now, this is obviously a bias because I follow people who are in the space, investing or collecting and playing and everything. I've never seen on the last three set releases, I have not seen this many. I ripped a case or I ripped 10 booster boxes. This set is getting ripped so fast because there's so many different levels. I thought, and this is my theory, that last week when I said it's undervalued. I think it's undervalued. I think people are sleeping on the set. I think some of the signatures are amazing. I think the fact that they have these split arts with all these different champions that people resonate with, that they played in the game and that they love the artwork. I think the splits are awesome. Just the regular over numbers. We have some really cool alternate arts for champions. Even like the Nasus. I pulled the Nasus alternate art. It's one of his most famous skins in the game. And then on top of it, we have the SPs, the Crystal Rose skins. This set is stacked. And I don't think people realized how much is in this set. So I think it's just amazing. I think this is something that it's going to see a lot of selling and a lot of buying. This number, I don't know tomorrow what's it going to be. Like I said, just Sunday alone is more than the current supply left. There's only 15 people listing. Once again, as in any set, if we start seeing this 180 number, you got to believe that other people are going to start listing their cases. They're going to get that. If you're buying it 120, you're selling it 180, you just made 50% margins before, all your fees and everything. You're going to see people enter the market with more product, but that doesn't mean it can slow down this train. Like I said, I've never seen so much ripping on a product. So I just want to keep, and kind of end with that and be like, the market is doing great. All these sets are doing amazing in their own way. Origins, price corrected a little bit because it needed to, but my expected value is up. Spirit Forge, just the sell-through rate and the price increasing is just so noticeable at this point. I don't think a reprint can help it, by how small they're talking. And then Unleashed, supply keeps going down week after week, and price is just going to slowly climb up. It's also just going to be a train that can't be stopped. But my biggest wild card is in Vendetta. How much of the product can actually enter the market quick enough to quench this fire that everyone has for the set? So With that, I have a couple things I want to work on for this week for you guys, talking about over numbers compared to their signatures. Is Riftbound a better investment than some of the other current TCGs out there? I know people are hot for Power World and Gundam and everything, so if there's any other talking points that you guys really want me to cover, please let me know. Obviously, like and subscribe. We finally hit 200 on the account now, so it's a really huge milestone. As small as it is, it takes one step at a time to get to where you want to be. So I appreciate it, guys, and peace out.